Hello, my name's Jen Smith. I'm the Grants Administration Officer at the Northern Rivers Community Foundation.
And I'm Kyla White, Community Impact Manager. So Jen and I are here today as the grants team to talk to you about our upcoming community grants round. We're looking to give you some practical tools and advice, as well as to talk through the streams for the upcoming programme. NRCF, the Northern Rivers Community Foundation, has been around for about 20 years. We're very embedded in our community and we serve the 7 LGAs of the Northern Rivers, right from the Tweed up in the north to the smaller villages in the south, Glenray, Nimboida, and out to Kyogle and its villages in the west. Jen and I are here today to talk about the 2024 Community Grants Round. We'll give you some practical tips and advice on how to complete your application, as well as talk about the different streams, and we'll give you some tools to go back to work with your team and your organisation to get the best possible grant application. Our grant programmes are supported by local donors as well as national foundations, and thanks to them we're able to support a number of different grant streams in this year's Community Grants Round. So I'm going to hand you over now to Jen to talk about the eligibility for this year's grants round.
So the 2024 community grants open on the 28th of August and they're open till the 29th of September. If you've applied to us before, if you've been successful before, please still read the guidelines which are on our website. That's nrcf.org.au. If you've applied for lots of grants before, if you've applied to us before, please still do read the guidelines, as all of the eligibility criteria and the grant purpose is in there. I'll talk you through the basic criteria to make sure you're eligible before you apply. Firstly, you need to be a not-for-profit or charitable organisation here in the Northern Rivers. If you're not ACNC registered, you can still apply, but you need to prove your not-for-profit purpose. The organisation that receives the funds needs to have DGR1 status. If you don't have this status, you'll need to enter into a partnering agreement with an auspice organisation. Please contact us if you don't know what this means and we'll walk you through it. Thirdly, we tend to fund small to medium organisations, so your annual revenue needs to not exceed $10 million. Finally, your project dates. Your project needs to end by December 2024.
Now we're happy to announce the streams for this year's Community Grants Round. There are 4 individual streams and I'll take you through each one of these individually. So the first stream is our local impact stream. This is grants of up to $10,000 to support grassroots organisations and their projects to strengthen and enhance our rural and regional communities. The second stream is our housing and homelessness stream. This is a total grant pool of $50,000. We're accepting grants of between $20,000 and up to $50,000. The funding is to progress innovative models and/or to provide locally appropriate housing outcomes for people on low to medium incomes. It's our first time to offer this grant stream, and you will find more details and more information in the guidelines as to what might or might not be funded within this stream. The Recovery and Resilience stream allows for 4 grants of up to $25,000. This is to support community recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic, from bushfires and from the floods. The last grant stream is our Thriving Together grant stream. This is the first time we've been able to offer this, thanks to one of our partners. It's a total grant pool of up to $120,000 over 3 years, so $40,000 each year. This 3-year grant is to support community-driven, high-impact projects in disaster-impacted regions. So we'll talk now about the application process. Remember, Jen and I are here to support you right throughout this process, but we will take a look at each of the stages that you'll need to complete. So before you start the application, please do review the guidelines. They're tailored specifically to answer any of the questions that you might have. We also want to make sure that you address your need specifically. What is the need in your community and how have you identified that? Remember, the assessment team that will be reviewing your grant really want to understand what that need is, and you'll need to walk them through that step by step. A great way to indicate this need is to give a sentence or two and then a couple of bullet points outlining specifically what that need is. Next, tell us clearly and succinctly about your project. What is your idea to address the need? Essentially, what are you going to do? Start to map out your estimated budget. Be as realistic as you can with costs and income. And remember that your organisation will need to contribute some dollars or resources to the project. So remember to include any in-kind donations or resources. Project viability. This is twofold. We want to understand that your organisation has the skills and experience to be able to make this project happen. We want to see that you can deliver it within that 12-month time frame. So that might talk to the skills and experience specifically of your organisation now, if you've got some runs on the board, or it might talk to the project team that will be delivering the project. It also talks to the viability or the feasibility of the project itself. Does your budget look realistic? Do the timeframes look realistic to carry out what you want or what you've said you're going to achieve within that timeframe? Outcomes. So how are you going to measure success? It's a really good idea to think at the outset, before you move into the project, as to what success looks like and how you will measure it and how you'll show that to us. That might be photos. After your project's finished, it's really hard to go back and take those photos. So remember again to map that out and then make sure you can deliver on that. So assessment, decision and funding. Well, you've met the grants team.
Yes.
Our grants committee is a very diverse group of people with skills and experience and knowledge right across the Northern Rivers. And they'll be looking at your grant applications throughout September and October. This details the rest of the process. At any time, if you've got any questions, please do give us a call. Successful applicants from this year's Community Grants Round will receive funding in November, and you can get started straight away with your project. So today we've talked a lot about identifying need. Here's a list of resources and links that will give you some evidence and some of that data. Please give us a call if you need anything that you can't find in these tools.
Next, we'll move on to some practical tools to help you plan your project. There are 5 main things to think about. Firstly, the need. What is the need in your community? Who have you talked to in your community to figure out what that need is, and how will you address it? Also, how have you evidenced that need? Upload links to research and facts and information to help the assessment committee see what that need is in your community. The second thing is inputs. Inputs are things that make your project run. These are the things that are necessary for you to run your project. So you need to consider things like volunteer time, salaries, venue hire. Thirdly, activities and output. What are you actually going to do? This is the main part of your project. 4, outcomes. What are you hoping to achieve? At the end of your project, what positive changes will you see in your community? And finally, impact. This is the big picture societal change. What small contribution is your project making to these big changes? So for example, if you're planting trees, the outcome is a paddock of trees. The impact is a positive contribution to the environment and long-term to climate change. Using those 5 points we've just talked about, this logic model is a communications tool to help you plan out your project. Use this tool to help you work logically through your project idea and generate discussion with your team. If you'd like to use this logic model to help you plan out your project, give us a call and we'll share this as well as some completed examples with you. These pictures are from some of our previously funded projects. You can check out some of our successful applicants from last year on our website. By this point, you probably have a project idea, and you'll know if you're eligible and which grant stream that you will apply for, and how much you'll need. So you've got the foundations of what you'll need to complete the application. We've talked about how to plan your project out logically for the committee, and about uploading the correct documents, but equally important is to bring your passion to the application. Remember, the committee will read a lot of applications, and some of them might be similar to yours. What makes yours different? Think about how the project will help to address the need or issue in your community and what domino effects could be to families, friends, and the wider community. Think about how you can really paint the picture for the committee and try to anticipate any barriers or questions the committee might have, remembering that they may not know much about you, your organisation, or what you do.
So now it's over to you. You're the experts, you know what your community needs, and you know what your organisation can deliver. Remember, we are here to help you, and we really look forward to seeing the projects that come in over the coming weeks. Applications close on the 29th of September. Remember, Jen and I are here to support you right throughout this process. We'd also like to take this opportunity to say thank you to all our donors and our partners for the support that they give us for this Community Grants Round, in particular to FRRR for supporting these grant workshops.
We look forward to hearing about your great projects and supporting you through the application process.